So years back when I started my journey here on YouTube, I did a review for Space Haven, and I have to admit, I did not really know how to do reviews back then. Hell, I'm still learning how to do them. And I did not spend that much time with the game, so I was able to still request a refund, and for about a year and a half or so, I did not touch the game. However, I still had it in my wish list throughout this time, and when we had the last summer Steam sale, I decided, what the hell, let's get the game. And I started to play it, and I gotta say, it's kicking my ass, and I'm getting somehow addicted to it. Now, in case you don't know what Space Haven is, it's a space colony shipbuilder, derelict, desolator, pirate, battler, simulator. There's lots of game mechanics that are thrown into the mix. You have to manage your resources, you have to keep your crew healthy and alive, and you have to travel through the galaxy because Earth has become inhospitable and incapable of supporting human life anymore. Because, well, let's face it, we're kind of not heading the right direction even now, but yeah, fun stuff. So, what I want to do is make a potential mini-series here on the channel, because games like Timberborn and so on and such are fun, but they kind of lack this sort of goal or direction towards which you should be building towards. It's all about just building and trying to build up your colony, but here you're actually put through a journey and you're trying to reach one end of some galaxy to the other. And along the way, you come across all sorts of problems. So, we're gonna start, and this is honestly my attempt number 3 or God knows how many, and we're gonna see how it works. So, we're gonna go with new game. Currently, you have one game mode, difficulty, and 3 scenarios. Basic platform is what we're gonna go with. You're gonna be given like some sort of blueprint of a ship's hull, which you will be able to expand, and you will take this ship onto the journey. The second option is abandoned mining station, so you would start as if in some sort of asteroid base, and you will be able to build up a ship from the supplies and provisions which you have accumulated. And then there is a small hope where you are given like a minimal amount of just about anything, and it's a total pain in the ass. So we're gonna go with the basic platform. You can see that I already started a couple of games, and the furthest I ever got was like having 10 crew members, and it was lots of fun, but unfortunately not really understanding how the turret mechanics operate. The pirates just took me apart, especially because, and I cannot believe I have to say this, my crew was sleeping, and the person responsible for manning the turrets refused to wake up and do his goddamn job, because we are missing this sort of a red alert button or something which would raise the alarm at the ship. So it was impossible for me to survive. And yeah, hopefully with all these mistakes which I have done, I'll be able to turn this into potential mini-series here on the channel and maybe make a proper review for the game after such a long time. In case you don't know, lots of these games have lots of resources which you need to manage, and so we're gonna go over some of the basic ones which are shown over here, but of course, trust me, there's a lot more. So first of all, we have root vegetables, we have fruits, we have artificial meat, and we have nuts and seeds. These 4 things are combined in order to make food. You have also the option to combine, for example, biomatter and water to create lower quality meals, but trust me, you want to make sure that your crew is fed. Now, these things will be able to be grown, and because this is artificial meat, this theoretically means that your crew is vegan or something. I don't know. It's just Along the way, we will come across potential data logs from ships, and they will explain what has happened to animals on the planet and why we don't have access to real meat and so on and such. So you need to combine these ingredients in order to actually be able to feed your crew. Then we have the soft block, the infra block, the energy block, the tech block, and the hull block. These five are used in order to create structures, expand your ship, or build tools or potential devices which are able to refine additional resources which are currently not shown. And as we will be traveling through the space, we will come across lots of potential asteroids which can hold plenty of raw materials. For example, Hyperion or Energium. These two are going to be used in order to be turned into two primary sources of energy. The Hyperium will be used to power up your hyperdrives, and this will allow you to jump between the solar systems and find what type of planets can be used or potentially exploited, or systems which can hold resources. The Energium is used in order to create these sort of energy cells which are then capable of powering these small little blocks which are spreading the power throughout the base to the potential refining machines which you have to construct. And then you can have, for example, your medical supplies like IV fluids or basic med kits. And then you can have your meals, then you can have fertilizer, which in combination with water will be required in order for you to grow your food. And that's just scratching the surface. We still have not covered a bunch of additional minerals which you can come across. You can, of course, even find different types of items. So for example, if I would want to go and edit the loadout, and this is what I usually tend to do in order to make this a little bit easier, especially at the start, when it comes to your crew members, they have certain skills which allow them to equip certain stuff. So for example, if your crew just simply lacks the skills to carry more advanced weaponry, the shotgun cannot be really equipped, and that can be quite bad. So what I like to do is actually go in and equip more pistols. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of potential loadout. You have bulletproof vests, you have armor vests, you have slave collars, you have oxygen tanks. So if you are scouting out the derelict ship, your crew members can remain there for a longer time before their oxygen runs out. You have basic pistol, you have SMG, you have shotgun, assault rifle, laser pistol, laser rifle, plasma cluster gun, and plasma rifle. So the weapons can be quite varied, and they will of course require a crap ton of resources in order to be made and in order to be researched. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add in a couple more pistols, and then we have what your current sector can hold. So we already covered the Hyperium and the Energium. Then we have the asteroid with ice. The ice can be processed into water. Then we can have derelict ships which are broken down for resources. Then we have ships which can be claimed. These ships can be either turned into additional vessel or you can salvage them. Now, I tend to play with one primary ship, and the reason behind this is fairly simple. If you decide to build a fleet of small ships, each ship will have to have its own hyperdrive, its own navigation, its own life support, and all these things will take up a crap ton of space, and you will have to somehow spread around the crew. And if you are starting with like 4 crew members or 6 crew members, that can have really negative effect. So yeah. Then we have base metals. These are going to be turned with combination with carbon into steel. Then we have rare metals or noble metals, which in combination with additional resources can be turned into electronics. Then we have raw chemicals, which by processing can be turned into plastics or other resources which we will require. So as you can see, This is just the basis of the raw ingredients. Now, we already do have a derelict ship, so what I would love to add in are some of these additional resources. But what I want to especially have is another Hyperium and Energium and one more ice. Now, this will mean that the initial starting region will be quite rich in the deposits, and I will try to mine them all out. And we will add in a couple of more resources to the food, especially because food can be quite nasty, especially due to the later changes to the game, where now you have to actually research certain stuff, like being able to grow fruits or artificial meat or some additional stuff. So depending on also your skills of your crew members, this can be affected as well. We're going to increase the water because water is crucial to our survival. And we're going to give ourselves 12 fertilizer just for the hell of it. And now we can go to the crew. Damn it. Damn it. I misclicked. Okay, we're gonna... So this is how it would look, but we're gonna go back to main menu. And I'm gonna have to redo this goddamn thing because I'm an idiot. So... at least I don't have to explain all this nonsense again. So, of course, as we go through the game, I will be able to proceed with additional things and do some stuff. But the biggest problem which we can run into at the start of the game are constant bottlenecks. The game will be crucial and really... well, not crucial. It will be really critical for you to make sure that you prioritize certain things in order to make sure that your crew will actually survive those initial moments. Because if you try to give them too many jobs or too much stuff to be done, it can have really bad effects on the overall health. And so, yeah, we're gonna try to make sure that that won't happen. So I just want to make sure that I will be able to add in these things and one more ice. I don't really need the raw chemicals right now because I will not be able to process them without researching this at first. So having access to them at the start, not really gonna be useful. Now, when it comes to the crew members, you have the skill points which can be allocated, but what you need to keep an eye out for are these quirks and perks and whatever, because some of these are absolutely horrible. If you have psychopaths, lazy, or whatever, it can be really bad for you and it can really lead to negative effects. And already when I started to play the game, there were situations where, for example, I had constant mental breakdowns for my crew members, and that was just really horrible. So I'm going to try to make sure that that will not happen. You can see that their weapon skill is at 1, so they can only carry the pistol. And I haven't really learned or found a way of how to increase these skills. So I'm going to try to make sure that that can be done as well. We're going to rotate you for, let's say, having access to like a pilot would be just absolutely great. Security guard, iron willed, 3 weapon, okay. Bloodlust, no. Peace loving, florist, alien lover, I'm not really sure. Blacksmith, antisocial, space fear, fast learner, needy, lazy, needy, alien lover, needy, gourmet. Yeah, so we are trying to find something better. And of course, I can go and like try to deal with these things and try to change them, but it's just easier for you to find some sort of predetermined person. And it's just going to make it slightly easier for you. Fast learner, lab technician, 0 mining, weapon 1, research 5, that's awesome, medical, botany. Okay, sure. And we can probably use a lady or 2 because this is turning into quite the sausage fest. So, neurotic, no, wimp, needy, talkative, peace-loving, clumsy, needy, gourmet. Jesus Christ, can't you give me someone normal? And actually being able to choose these initial crew members is going to be really important for your overall survival. So That's why I'm putting so much emphasis into this whole damn shebang. Do we have anyone who has any mining? Yeah, we do have plenty of people with mining skills. Okay. Unfortunately, it's again a guy. God damn it. I really need some lady. Because this is not funny anymore. Computer programmer, mining industry, botany, medical research, weaponry, shielding. Okay, and what we can use is a pilot, because we will have to navigate through these goddamn systems or space or whatever. I'm trying to find words. It's like 1 a.m. and I really did not have any time to record stuff, so most likely it will be uploaded this week or something onto the channel, and I'm just really trying to like find something and do something for the channel to switch things around, since I finished with the BioShock and with the Control and so on and such. So I'm trying to find something else to put on the channel, because honestly the only shooter right now left is probably the Starship Troopers, and because I'm still trying to cover the Starship Trooper Terran Command, it's just not gonna work. Okay, this is just really pissing me off. I need a goddamn pilot. I need a pilot. Game developer, teacher, mining technician, airline pilot. There's actually a astronaut position, if I recall correctly, or something. Yeah, astronaut. And peace loving. Fast learner, and we can allocate anything. Navigation is +2. It would be great if we can actually allocate some points here. Bravery, zest, intelligence, that's all done and done. I don't think I'm gonna keep this person. It's just killing me. Botany we can reduce, and we can put the point here into navigation. Gunner, or yeah, just boost the navigation, and we're gonna start it off properly this time. I'm understanding that it's not probably the best start to the series ever, but yeah. If we zoom out, these are the asteroids which can be mined. This is the derelict ship. It can be always any type of size. Now here's the problem. You can't really see what's inside, so you are going to be forced to bring in the crew, explore the innards of the ship, and then you will have a view such as this. Of course, if I want to, I can show you that there are different types of views. You can alter these, or you can just put this view on and you would see what's happening. Now, this is our basic hull, and as you can see, it kind of does not really have that many things. So let's talk about the stuff that we do have access to. This is some light, this is thermal generator. This will be important because the tool making devices which we'll have to craft will be increasing the heat, and of course being outside in the space where it's sub-zero temperature, it can kill you instantaneously. Then we have these little pods. These are used for mining. Then we have the ship, which can carry crew of 4 members to the derelict ships, or can be used for trading with other stations or ships. Trading will be a crucial thing in this game. And then we will have to monitor all sorts of stuff for our crew. So primary thing, oxygen. And you have the carbon dioxide, or what's it called in English. Then we have hazardous smoke, water vapors. If you want to see if there's any blockage, then you can have jobs assigned. You can have comfort. You can see that the comfort is currently negative because we don't have any sort of living quarters. And then you have the temperature based on what it can be. It can have detrimental effects. And then you can have the power grid. So we're gonna have to start establishing certain structures in order to make sure that the crew can alive. First thing first is building the oxygen generator. this thing will be able to keep maintaining oxygen levels. As we keep expanding the size of the ship's hull, we will require additional oxygen generators. Gas scrubber is, for example, if you have fire on board, it will be able to turn the CO2 into breathable atmosphere. Then we have all these additional things. We're gonna go with furniture and we're gonna go with bunk beds, but I have to go into resources and build the tools facility. Tools were not shown in the initial resources because this is being processed or generated by you spending the blocks which you have access to. You will always see what you need in order when it comes to requirements, and then you can see how the heat output and other negative effects can be created. So it's usually best for you to separate these sort of refining machines or crafting machines away from your living quarters, because if you would let your crew members sleep next to some sort of recycling machine, it would probably drive them crazy and they would shoot everyone on board of the ship. So this is gonna be required as well. We can set a high priority on these things to be constructed. And I'm thinking we are gonna switch things around. Can we allocate them like this? Wonderful, beautiful. What I like to also do is demolish these ones which are built on the floor, and I like to build them on the wall. So if I go into like the life support, I like to build the thermal regulators up on the walls, because this will allow you to even maintain certain machinery in front of these things without them having any sort of effect on the overall space that you have access to. The next thing which we're gonna do is set up high priority over here, and then we're gonna go and start building I would like to build probably small living quarters. So what we're gonna do at first, because we don't really have the resources and the time to allocate specific units for each individual person so that they have privacy, they have decorations inside of these rooms and everything, so we will try to make it a little bit more compact. I'm gonna have to build also toilets for the people, believe it or not. They have to poop in here, so that's gonna be fun. And I need to do it somehow in a smart way. Now, how am I gonna do it? Because the ship's hull is gonna be expanding and changing. Eventually, I will be moving stuff around, so this is not gonna be permanent solution at all. It's gonna see lots of changes. One thing which I need to do here is build an air vent in the wall so that the air from this large portion can go into the living quarters, because when you have a high concentration of people in a one corner of the ship, what can happen is that because the doors are closed and the walls are holding the atmosphere on one side and the other side, the air is not passing through, and because you will be breathing the oxygen during your sleep, eventually the whole room will turn into a CO2 tank, which will kill the astronauts. So we're trying to avoid that. So we're gonna have to fix that as well. And one thing which you can do is actually build a hull window in order to bring in some natural light from the outside, and this also tends to increase the happiness of your astronauts. We're gonna put down one light over here. We're gonna put down some green wall up in here if it would be possible eventually once the wall is up and running. And I would like to build at least 2 crappers, but maybe if we rotate them, I would have to separate it somehow. Maybe if we expand this even further. We're still gonna have to build like a canteen of sorts. And then the facility. Trying to make it all aligned somehow, but it's not gonna be looking pretty for a while. That's just the sad fact. And I'm also trying to not give them too much stuff to do, because if you overcumber them with a crap ton of workload and they will not be able to manage it, it will just end up with a bunch of jobs which have not been finished, and that can have a really negative effect overall on your crew, because let's say the beds will not be finished and other nonsense. Now, so we are gonna build the oxygen generator and the tool making thingy, because without it we cannot really do just about anything over here. So I'm really hoping that the high priority on these two things will get stuff started. So let's get it up and running. We're building that oxygen generator, we're having the tool facility made, we're starting to construct all these things. And we're gonna need to build some sort of canteen where these people can put in their food and it can be turned into meals and they will be able to be fed. Now we're gonna go, and we have this radius to build in, and this is how much space our ship can hold. This red square, what you see over here, is because there is the airlock. Now, when it comes to the mining pods or the ship, whenever you bring in cargo, it goes in through the airlock. I guess it needs to be scrubbed from the space. What's it called? Because there's no atmosphere, the radiation. Yeah, so space radiation or whatever, it processes through here and then it's placed into your storage. Which brings us to another thing. Storage will be only able to hold specific types of things. So once we will start discovering dead astronauts or picking up alien bodies and all sorts of other stuff, we'll have to have even like a body storage in order to preserve these bodies, because they will be necessary for research of augmentation or just researching for medical purposes or whatever reasons. So yeah, lots of funky stuff. Lots of funky stuff. As you can see, I'm doing one thing which I tend to tell lots of people to not do, and that is to speed up the overall pace of the game. Now, normally when it comes to games like Timberborn or Settlement Survival or whatever other type of survival game where you are building an outpost, I try to avoid using the sped up game, because if you make some sort of mistake, it's that much harder to return back from it and try to fix what you screwed up. But in here, the basic pace of the game is just so ridiculously badly set up that I only use it when I go on board of the derelict ship, as it allows me to micromanage the encounters with the enemies. And that way is the only way when I use the basic speed. So then I usually try to go a little bit faster in order to have some sort of potential pace that allows me to do a bit more. Okay, what we're gonna do here is dismantle this wall. We're gonna move the fortification. We're gonna put the life support over here. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to build the food processor or the kitchen up in here. And if I move the door, it will allow me to do just that. But I'm going to need some sort of furniture for these guys to sit on. And that can be quite problematic as is. So trying to figure out where the hell do I cram all this junk, but it just won't do that much. We're gonna have a little bit of a trouble here right now at the start, but I'm trying to establish at least the basic necessity stuff so that then we can start mining the resources which are outside, and we can start to consider what else can be done in regards to the other nonsense. We're gonna put down the air vents into the crapper as well, because let's face it, if someone would eat something spicy and you would have to go after them to use the toilet and it would smell like crazy, you would probably pick up a gun and start shooting the crew members because one of those fuckers did it. So, we're gonna start expanding the hull. And I'm thinking instead of building like a large square, we're gonna go with like a long-ass rectangle. And that might allow me to build, let's say, at the front navigation, in the middle some sort of living quarters, and at the back we're gonna have like the loading docks and engines and all this other manufacturing nonsense. So it's a long way to get there, but I'm feeling optimistic. And in case you want to know how many resources you are using, right now if you take a look at the right corner, you see that right now we would be using 8 hull blocks for construction of 16 times 6 space. So we're gonna actually go ahead and do that, and I'm quite sure our oxygen level is already suffering slightly. Medium? Yeah, it's at medium. We're gonna have to build another one. Because as the ship size goes up and we have more people to keep alive, it's just not gonna be able to manage. And we're gonna move all of this more forward. The 2 crappers can remain there, and we're just gonna see what can be done. Ice is turned into water. Energium is used into powering your machines, such as the recyclers and tool manufacturing. And I need to take a sip of water. Swear to God, I don't know how teachers do this. Talk for so long without their throat just shutting down completely. Mad respect for them. And so we will require these sort of power nodes, which will be then able to power up our engines and all of our recyclers and everything else in between. Then we have the bigger power, which is, as you can see, separately distributed. And then we will have the green crystal, which is the hyperdrive fuel, which we will have to process as well eventually. But yeah, when it comes to the research, the game has undergone quite the change. So right now we have access to only a couple of things. And my advice is probably to start off with the botany and going with like fibers, because fibers are then gonna be able to be turned into, and I think there's like an item fabricator or something else where you are able to turn those fibers into like a fabric, and the fabric is a great thing that can be sold to other ships for high value and so on and such. So you will have to find something that will work for you. Now, I intentionally build a lot of crap in here, or just oversaturated this initial region with lots of resources because it can be helpful. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna draft a bunch of these crew members, and we're gonna equip them with the weapons. And eventually we're gonna have armor and oxygen tanks and other nonsense, which will allow us to keep making them even deadlier. And what you do is you highlight the draft, and then you control them with the right mouse button. And this allows you to then keep going to do certain jobs. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take at least 3 crew members, and we're gonna take them on board of the derelict ship so that we can start to scavenge it for potential resources. And those resources will be then able to be salvaged and so on and such. So we're gonna take the ship and we're gonna park it right here. Now, when it comes to actually selecting and drafting your crew members, you have to be aware of one thing. After you select your ship or your crew members, you will also have to make sure that you have deselected or de-drafted the crew members. Otherwise, you are going to be really screwed, as they will just remain standing still and they will not move. So these are the data logs which I was talking about. We have to explore everything inside. There can be aliens, there can be absolutely nobody, We can even come across a hyper sleep chamber, and that can hold an actual astronaut, but this ship is gonna have apparently just the aliens. And there are 2 species which I came across so far, and the coolest thing is that actually you can come across a place where the infestation is so heavy that if your astronaut gets, for example, knocked out, the coolest thing can happen, and that is that your astronaut will be captured and like glued to the wall, like in Ridley Scott's Alien, and it will try to use that human to just keep pumping out more and more eggs. So the ship will become even more hostile and even more difficult to clear out eventually. Now, the cool thing is that if you come across these sort of broken pieces or floor which is missing, certain aliens are just incapable of getting to your crew members. So you can use those locations to theoretically clear out large chunks of the ship if you are able to. This is the hypersleep chamber. So it seems like we're gonna have additional crew members accessible, or at least one crew member accessible. Okay, here we have one more alien. So he's gonna show up soon. So let's just blow him into bits. Where the hell did that second guy come from, though? Is that it? Is there an exag or something? No, okay. So when you are exploring these ships, you have to keep an eye out on 3 things. The red bar is the health. The yellow bar is how tired they are and when they will need to sleep, and the blue bar is their oxygen level. I know it might be kind of like fairly simple for you guys, but I was kind of like, whoa, there's just way too many bars to keep an eye out for. Okay, this might be the last sucker which we need to kill. That means that the ship has been officially cleared out. Now we have to deselect the crew and the ship so that they can return safely home. And now, because we have cleared out the ship effectively, what we can do is start salvaging it for bits and pieces. But I first want to go back here, and of course we will try to make sure that the people will be able to get stuff done and be able to rest up and not get like mentally broken down and whatnot. Okay. So, you guys are just screwing around right now, so we're gonna take you, my dear friends. And we're gonna take you, my dear friends. And I'm gonna take at least 3 members of the crew. Hell, we can take 4 of you. Go back on that ship. Rescue this one person who is stuck here in the hypersleep chamber. And what we're gonna actually do is we're gonna start to scavenge this ship. So we're gonna deselect these guys. We're gonna deselect the ship. I just wanted to make sure that we rescued the person before. And now we're gonna start to salvage all this junk. And the soft scrap will be used to create the soft blocks, infra scrap for infra blocks, tech scrap for tech blocks, energy scrap for energium, and some other stuff, and hull scrap for hull blocks. So the thing is, however, we will be recycling these things and we will not get 1 unit. As when we were building, for example, the expansion of the ship, you were able to see that we used 8 hull blocks. However, when it comes to recycling or producing water or doing stuff, we are going to be dealing with decimal numbers. So let's say out of 1 ice block, you can make 0.5 water. So that means from 1 ice block you can make 2 units of water and stuff like that. So this will eventually start to cascade down onto the overall production and all this other nonsense. So it will be important to keep an eye out on that. We're gonna have to relocate this wall with the light in order to expand the living quarters and preferably somehow separate the sleeping quarters from the food quarters, and that's gonna create more comfort. That's what we're aiming for. Having the comfort is going to be crucial. As you can see over here, we see that there's some slight comfort but it's right now over here absolutely non-existent, and that can have negative effect on our crew. Now, because we are doing a couple of things such as breaking down the ship, the two pods are gonna be also responsible for mining out these resources. So it's gonna take a while for them to get the hull constructed, salvage the derelict ship, and do all sorts of other stuff. So we're gonna have to somehow do this quite well and time it out. I would love to move these things and trying to figure this out, how to do this. We're gonna have to build another bunk bed because we have rescued that one person, which increases the number of our crew members. We can play around with how we put the bunk beds and so on and such. Like, don't ever get used to a layout in this game at the start, because chances are you're gonna change a lot of stuff, so just keep that in mind. And of course, eventually I will try to create much more comfortable environment for them, because this can be quite annoying to deal with. I want to put the wall light over here as well, and I have to take a look at the temperature. There's still a room temperature, but it's starting to go down a little bit. Okay, we're gonna dismantle you. We're gonna move the kitchen and all this other stuff around. And I like to keep, for example, the kitchen close to the living quarters, because that means that once they wake up, they can go eat, and after they eat, they go take a poop, and then they go do their work. Or they, in the middle of the night, wake up, go take a poop, return back to sleep, and just keep on grinding and doing the good job. But unfortunately, what can happen is that you time it incorrectly and everyone is without a goddamn bed. So that's not really optimal, because that will mean that the people will be cranky, and you don't want to have a bunch of cranky astronauts in a tightly crammed space on a ship. So 2 people will have some sort of sleep, but the rest are just gonna be really exhausted. And why are they all like huddled up at the toilet? I don't know. Don't ask me. So technically speaking, we can turn this into a barrack where we would be able to build like 2 more bunk beds over here. But they're just really not comfortable at all, so doing that will just punish your crewmates, and you don't really want to do that. What I want to do is build these sort of couches and give them a table, because this can sit 3 people so that they can eat. And I still want to build the LG dispenser, because this thing will allow you to produce the lower quality meals. What we can also do is build some sort of wall window, but it won't be like useful here. So maybe building a hall window over here would be a little bit better. Technically speaking, we can move the wall light here, separating this living quarters from the kitchen space as well. Trying to figure this thing out. Unfortunately, I won't be able to build it here. I can build the hall window over here. Can expand the wall like this. We can put down 1 heat regulator. We can finish off the wall. You know, keep it like this. and put in some decorations. Make it a little bit nicer. Increase the potential, the quality of life for them for now. Have this sort of food place. Have the 2 poopers. And then we're gonna have to build at the back the stuff for recycling and processing of raw materials and so on and such. Good thing would be if we can actually have access to the kitchen from 2 spaces or 2 slots. So what I'm gonna do is move the algae nonsense. And why in the hell can't I build the damn door here? Okay. So there's that. There's that. The hull window has been constructed. And we have a ship enter the system. Now, when a ship enters the system, usually they're neutral when they have these sort of yellow colors. And here we can see that we can establish trade. And they have all sorts of things which we don't have access to. So for example, the energium can be processed into energy rods. These are used to power these small little power nodes. And those power up your engines and everything else. And then you have access to other things like the energy blocks, and later down the road additional resources which you will be able to craft. But we are still in the process of just salvaging this ship alone, and so there's a lot of resources like human foot and alien corpses. We're gonna select all of that stuff and try to bring it abroad or on board of our lovely vehicle. I would love to put this over here, and I'm gonna try to set up a system, and we will require operations console and navigation console, and we will require at least 2 of the Hyperium drives. But as you can see, this thing will actually require system point, and these system points are fairly limited at the start. So what you need to do is you need to keep building these sort of hull stabilizers, which will unlock more potential for you to house more things. So if you want to have more, let's say, pod or shuttle hangars or more airlocks and other stuff, you will require these system points for your ship in order to be able to do so. And I'm gonna expand this sucker by additional 8 points because we still have 19 hull blocks, and we're still salvaging this sucker, and we will start to salvage some of these other resources as well. So the comfort hasn't been increased. It's still because of the bunk beds lowered, but if I were to separate them into normal beds, which I can do, it would still be oversaturated. So we want to remove this sort of barrack and eventually just have like a separate small units, like these little things for the crapper, which will be able to accommodate each person individually. It's just gonna be much easier that way to manage and keep them happy. And you're gonna have a high construction requirement because I said so. Ship has left the sector. That's a-okay. We're gonna start mining all these things. They're gonna be brought over, and so far, thanks to having access to all this stuff which we brought initially, we're gonna be a-okay. We can accommodate 1 more person to sit at this table because we have this chair. And this is one thing which is really pissing me off, is that when you go on board of these ships, you usually see that these basic chairs are along like these long dining tables, and it's just so much more effective space-wise than having this sort of big-ass couch which can house only or let only 3 people sit there and eat, or 4 people if you build the damn chair. So Yeah, we're gonna try to work on that and improve that. Trying to make sure that we can put down some decoration or some nonsense. But I don't want to also go too crazy by building all this stuff because it can have negative effect just due to the simple fact that you will run out of those infra blocks or whatever, and then you are suddenly screwed. So there are constant bottlenecks which you need to keep in mind, so we will have to be careful when it comes to that. There's a lot of stuff still to be done. 2 crew members are here. This guy was left behind. He has plenty of oxygen, but he's starting to get tired, so he even sat down for a while, really hoping that the ship will come for him and not leave him behind. But yeah, if you would have the crew deselected and the ship would still remain as drafted, the ship would just remain stationary and your crew members will not be able to return. They would suffocate on board of the ship and it would just be a whole bunch of mess that you have to deal with. So you really have to keep an eye out on this type of thing. What I would love to do is somehow relocate the hangar and the pods somewhere else. But if you want to do that, you first need to build additional pods, an additional hangar, somewhere where the ships can be transferred to. And as you can see, we're already holding here a bunch of stuff because all the supplies are moving in through and only through the airlock, through no other means. You will never see them like dock here and just carry the stuff out from the hangar. Always have to go through the airlock. So eventually having at least 2 airlocks is going to be really important for our ship so that we can be moving lots of cargo. So I'm not really sure how long will the initial episode be because I'm more talking than actually doing things. But I'm like doing this 3rd time or God knows how many times, and especially the start of the game can be where you fuck up the most, and I seriously hope that this time it's gonna work out because the time which I'm spending on recording this I could have used on recording something else which would have potentially made it to the channel. So yeah, I'm trying my damn best. Oh man. Okay, what else? So, we have the back of the ship constructed, which is great. I would love to build in the 2 hyperdrives, but as I said, I would require the hull stabilizing unit. As you can see, it has certain range. So what I would love to do is build it somewhere here. And then build maybe one up here, but what you see is that their lines cannot really cross. It will not allow you to do that. I'm thinking if I would be able to move this vent over here. But then this goddamn thing would have to be moved here. The oxygen nonsense would be moved here. So then I can move this thing over to here. Nothing is right now being mined. There's still a lot of stuff that I want. We still have plenty of resources to work with. We're gonna start recycling soon, but I will require the power node. And that thing alone will suck up 2 points of our ship system points, so that would just leave us with absolutely nothing left. We can go for the small one, but as you can see, it would not power up enough of the grid. And so if I would be able to accommodate it somehow here, that would just be great. So you can now be moved here. And Hull stabilizer can be... moved to the front there so that we have more system points for the ship. To spread around and make it more survivable and all this other nonsense. Can have our navigational place up in here. And theoretically, we can also build the research to be conducted in this sector as well. So we will do research. Facility, the 2 research labs would be awesome if we can have those. And we're just gonna do this. Cancel this thing out. Build in this. Put in potential hull window or some nonsense, I don't know. We can build like a hull window even at the front here. This is gonna bring in some natural light, but we can of course put in some wall lighting as well, just to be on the safe side. And we are starting to run low on the infra blocks, so we will definitely require the freaking recycler. And of course I don't have the goddamn infra blocks, so I might have to dismantle these things in order to get the recycler. Water purifier would be great as well, so that the ice blocks can be processed. I might have to destroy this. We'll keep one of the research thingies so that we can do botany. After that, we can do autopsy, we can do this. We can stack up the research so that we are doing multiple things one after another. And you can see that there's this lock. So before we get botany, we would not be able to do autopsy or the fibers. So we're going to do it like this. Those are going to be our initial researches which need to be conducted. This thing needs to be seriously constructed, and I don't know how the hell is it possible that I ran out of infra blocks, but yeah. Hopefully this is going to be now able to be done. I'm going to be able to start recycling crap fast. Okay, something is off. I don't know if it's the CO2 dangerous, so we're going to need life support thingy, and it's this thing, the gas scrubber, but yeah, that's gonna be kind of screwed up. So one important thing which you need to keep in mind when it comes to processing is that I might have mentioned it already. The number in the bracket shows you the overall amount which you have. However, from each one unit you're gonna get half a block. So out of these 15, we are gonna really get only 7.5 infra blocks, but I'm gonna put them to be processed, and hopefully we're gonna be able to get this done, because I see the poop icon, and that is telling me that people are unable to go do their business because of all the carbon dioxide. And that can be quite bad, so I would really appreciate it if you guys can actually process this crap. Please, for the love of God, don't make me fuck up again and have to restart this game a third time, because that's just way too much time that I have given to this game, and it would just literally kill me. Come on! Do it! Recycle this crap. Give me the gas scrubber thingy. You guys are getting exhausted, which is awesome. Not really. Once we have the gas scrubber, I'm hoping that it will start to clear out the CO2 levels. Might have to build another one. Water purifier is used to yeah, you see that the CO2 levels are dropping ridiculously fast. So that's gonna allow these guys to survive for a little bit longer. Whew, dodged the bullet there. There's a lot of stuff to keep an eye out for. We're gonna have mostly hull scrap. That stuff is what we use for crafting the blocks. As you can see, out of each block, we only get 1/4. So from like 20 blocks, we would get only, what, like 5 actual hull blocks. So not really great, not really great. Tech scrap and the energy scrap is super rare to come across, so that's gonna be a pain to obtain. We're gonna need some sort of storage unit for the bodies. So let's put it over here. Having like a second airlock or something would be great. And having 2 hyperdrives would be also amazing. We might have to expand the ship's hull even more. Everyone is sleeping, so that's not gonna happen, and we're gonna have to put down navigational console, the other stuff, and then we're gonna have to put down the 2 labs for the research. So that's gonna consume a crap ton of resources. Here we can see that they're chatting, they're having fun, they're taking a poop, then they're starting to work. I'm thinking I'm gonna need to fix this, and I'm gonna need to build this water refining unit and somehow separate the recycler and all this other nonsense. And here we can see that because we have all this technical gizmo located over here, what's happening is that the temperature is going up, and that can start fires, and that can be really bad. So we will need to put down a thermal generator up on that wall in order to keep this place a little bit cooler for a little bit longer. So soft blocks have been allocated, but what we're missing are the infra blocks, but now we're completely out of the soft blocks as well. So it's all about the recycling right now, so we will have to make sure that gets done. Some of these are more generous with how much stuff you obtain, some of them are not so generous. And eventually we're gonna have to ditch this system and go to the next one. And as you can see, there's not that many resources. We have the noble minerals, we have the basic steel or the carbon, and then we have like the coal thing, which would be the... This would be the carbon, this would be like the iron or the steel, or metal, or whatever you want to call it. Seriously, it's like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'm trying to record just about anything for the channel, so I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but I'm trying to make sure something is done, because I did not have time for me to make the videos for the other channel, and I'm trying to figure out how the fuck am I gonna make videos for movies when showing a single picture or some shorter clip from the thing gets the whole video immediately demonetized and everything. So it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it, seriously. We're gonna need these 2 fuckers. And of course, there's not enough space, so that sucks. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna expand the hull here, maybe? It just might be the space that we do require. If we don't get this thing constructed, the higher temperature can cause problems in here. You can see that just the power generator is doing that as is. And once this is all cleared out, the crews will automatically stop going there. And you can see that almost nothing has been left behind. Everything has been salvaged, from the wall lights to whatever you can come across. Everything is gonna be scrapped. So the comfort is here light, so that is helping. Unfortunately, here the accommodation is not that great. Here we have a light thing going on right now, but that's gonna probably change after a while, once these things are gonna start to get crammed in. Research is gonna take a while. Botany is at 20-something%. I just need to mine out the remaining resources, and then we can go, and once we have recycled enough, hopefully stuff for the infra blocks or something, we might be able to move on to the next place. If I won't have, however, enough infra blocks for the goddamn hyperdrive, I'm not really sure what the hell am I gonna do. That would be fun. That would be fun. Oh, man. And we're already starting to run low on food, so we're gonna have to start growing it. And of course, we're still not close enough to finishing the botany research. So, yay! Should have packed more infra blocks. Kind of wondering what would be the thing which I can salvage in order to get the engines operational. We're still not even recycling the ice. We still have like 19 water. But once we start growing food, that water is gonna go down dramatically because the crops will demand water, as per usual. Cannot believe I'm trying to keep a ship full of vegans alive. Artificial meat. What is this? Sponsored by Beyond Meat or something? Okay, problem here is, I'm not sure they will be able to get to this side of the damn thing. We cannot build it like here. So what I might have to do is expand. Even through here. This lack of the infra blocks is gonna be the death of me, though. The chances are we might require 2 engines in order to make this operational, and we don't have even the navigational station and all this other gizmo, so nah, man. Yeah, let's do this. Let's try to do it like this. Get rid of the research stations for now. See if we can allocate all the resources or not. We just need to jump to another sector in order to come across a ship, which would allow us to trade, and hopefully we'll be able to exchange the raw materials for something else. Fudge! I'm still low on the infra blocks. Can some ship freaking show up in here? Problem here is that we are literally at the edge of this system, so I kind of might have screwed up. Should have packed more infra blocks. God damn it. Because I'm unable to jump into hyperspace. We don't have the hyperdrive. We don't have the operational console and all this other nonsense, so it's just impossible. The question is if there's going to be a ship which is going to show up, or if we're going to eventually run into starvation and that's going to kill us because we don't have access to the infra blocks. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it to hell! This thing requires 4 of those. What if I dismantle the one at the back? It might affect the system points which we do have access to, but it might give us those points or those infra blocks which I so desperately require. Here we're missing one, here we're missing two, and that's gonna leave us with one. But now everyone is sleeping, and if I would be going through just the basic speed, it would kill me. So that's why we're doing it like this. And I'm gonna have to start growing food as well. We're unable to jump due to lack of stuff, such as the hyperdrive and the consoles. So please relocate these things. 4 out of 11. I'm not really sure this is gonna work out. We would require 2 engines to make the jump safely, but we are so screwed. I'm just gonna have to be forced to make a jump. We cannot make the jump. You gotta be shitting me. What the hell do I have to do in order to get to the next sector? You gotta be kidding me, right? Three of these suckers. System. 2 of these. So we need 2 engines. I feel like I'm gonna have to dismantle the recycler. Man, this is gonna be the worst ever intro to Space Haven on YouTube. I cannot believe I'm gonna post this shit on the channel, but hey, it's not your professional walkthroughs, it's not the channel of gaming excellence, so get over it. And now the funniest thing would be if a freaking ship of some other location would just come in. I would probably lose my shit, but okay. We're gonna try to make the jump to this region, and here we see that there are ships. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go and make the jump here, and we're gonna drop down, and we're gonna try to trade for the infra blocks, and we're gonna use the potential resources which we have access to. So asteroid with 2 things, and this is the big station with which we're gonna try to trade for these goddamn infra blocks. And of course it's gonna cost a crap ton of stuff, so we will have to use our own resources in order to make the exchange. I really hate to be giving away these resources like the Energium and the Hyperium, because eventually you're gonna get to situations where you're gonna realize that holy fudge, you are constantly running low on these things. So this is gonna be first trade which we're gonna make for those infra blocks. And then I'm thinking, what else do we wanna get? We need the infra blocks for the recycler, for the water recycler, and all these other facilities that will start producing stuff for me. The second hull stabilizer would be also ecstatic for me. As you can see, we are already overcumbered, so that's gonna be kind of funky. But we need that recycler. There's gonna be a crap ton of ships to salvage. And so we're gonna see what we can trade potentially when it comes to the raw resources, or the human foot, or the alien corpse, or whatever. We're gonna sell off the rubble. We're gonna sell the human corpse. And in return, we're gonna get really not that much money. Great. Let's get one more of those infra blocky blocks. Now you can see here that 0.2 ice gets turned into 1 water. So out of the entire ice block, you can make 5 points of, or 5 units of water. Next thing which I want to do is the 2 goddamn research stations. And we have a call. So if we sell potentially something that they might need and we have surplus of, we might be able to increase our reputation and get lots of money. So we're gonna sell them the hull blocks because we still have them, surprisingly, but we're down to our last 5, so I have to be careful with that. And I'm gonna have to start making food. That's gonna be annoying, especially since I don't have the goddamn infra blocks. We're constantly in deep trouble. Damn it. What the hell did I do wrong? Okay, we're gonna let them sleep this off, and I'm gonna need those additional infra blocks. Thinking about selling a pistol. Maybe a medkit, IV fluids, and in return getting 3 infra blocks. Man, I cannot believe I'm posting this onto the internet. Someone's gonna ever watch this. I just do apologize. I'm still trying to learn this game. Like, I don't know. It's probably always at the start it looks absolutely horrendous. And only after you get to a certain point, it slightly improves. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. We're now talking to Android Collective. Negotiate. Permission to visit ship, super low. Share a vision. Declare war. Let's trade. We already do have 2 trade deals with them. Can sell some of this stuff for more money. The credits are used all over the galaxy, so you don't have to be afraid that the Republic credits will not be accepted on planet of Tatooine and so on and such. And I know that's a different universe, but you get the point. Hopefully, that I'm trying to make. We're gonna need another drive, man. The thing is, these infra blocks are gonna be taken and used for stuff. Temperature is up here. And if I would have known, I would be so screwed because of the goddamn infra block. I would have fixed it, or I would have just taken more of those things with me. Trying to figure out what else can I sell. These things, if they're not refined, they're just not as valuable. And once we mine out these 2 asteroids, I'm thinking we're gonna go back here and mine out this. And then we can go over here and mine out the Hyperium, the ice, and the chemicals. So let's prepare for jump. That is, if not everyone is sleeping or something. We're gonna go here, we're gonna drop in. There's gonna be a ship coming in, so maybe we will be able to trade with them as well after we mine out all these 3 deposits. That's all gonna be taken in. Okay, so in order for us to process actually the stuff, In the industry, there's this metal refinery. This thing is able to turn stuff into steel plates and electronic components. Here you can see carbon and base metals, and noble metals and base metals are combined, but the build cost alone would kill me. So it's a fun thing to have access to, but I'm not really sure what I'm going to be able to do with it. Microweaver is the thing which turns the fibers into the fabric, which is then later turned into the soft blocks or the things which are used for furniture crafting. Then we have this stuff, the energy refinery. This thing is absolutely awesome because it turns energium into the energy rods and the hyperium into hyperfuel. Hyperfuel sells like crazy. It always has a decent selling price, so it's something to be considered, but the research of getting there can take you quite a while. So yeah, that's why I would love to first refine the raw metals into like steel and the electronics, as those things can sell for better things, because artisanal items sell better than the raw ingredients from which they are constructed. Keep that in mind. It works for so many games. Okay, so let's see what we can theoretically trade off with you fellas. You guys do have the infra blocks and they're not so expensive, so I'm ecstatic. Question is, what the hell am I gonna give you in exchange? We can give you energy blocks and energy cells. We do have the credits as well, so I would love to theoretically get what else? Tech blocks. It's gonna cost me 630. Hyperium is quite decently priced here, so we're gonna accept that because in that other sector we're gonna be able to get to it, so this is gonna reduce the overall cost. And then maybe one more trade for something else. What else? Infra blocks are the current bottleneck. Also, you have to be careful when you are trading with some of these resources, because if you keep using the same stuff over and over again, you can actually reduce the price which you get. So for example, the previous trade we had like 150, now it's only 100. So the price is not forever set up. You have to keep an eye out on this. How much? 5673. Let's do this. So a couple of trades. We still have the carbon on the asteroid over here, so we'll be able to replenish those supplies. And incoming pirate ship can be a problem, especially this early in the game. I have no fucking idea how the hell did this thing get here. The problem here is this thing has 2 turrets, but we don't have any turrets, any shields, or any potential bulletproof vests, so this sucker can actually start shooting at me. But these guys don't have a gun, they have a boarding party, which can be deadly too. Theoretically, this ship might get destroyed. Be fun if they would actually destroy it and we would be able to take it apart. But even if it's like broken down, the crew can still remain active somehow. So I'm not sure what we're gonna be able to do here, but if I would be able to salvage this goddamn thing, I would be ecstatic. Okay, we have the fibers researched. And I need to put down the food processing. This thing can go 5 things simultaneously. This thing can do 2 things simultaneously. And this thing can do 1 thing, and each consumes a certain amount of the fertilizer based on what you're growing and the amount of water. I think I'm gonna go with this large fucker, just so that we grow 5 things at the same time. We don't have the infra blocks, we do have the infra blocks. So hopefully we will be able to grow some of this fancy stuff. My hope is growing some of of this, some of this, some of this. And we're not gonna go with fibers as of yet because our food is starting to run low. So what I'm gonna try to do is make sure that we can accommodate. Nuts and seeds require higher botany, so root vegetables. So that's what's gonna work for us. We're gonna see if we can break down this sucker. Yeah, derelict ship. We're gonna definitely do that once everyone freaking wakes up, because we might come across the resources which we so desperately require in order to make our own infra blocks or hull blocks or just something to put into the goddamn recycler. So once they're done eating and pooping and planting, we're gonna get them on board of that ship. Hopefully none of the pirates are alive anymore. So we will be able to salvage this. It's highly questionable. There's a corpse. Yeah, that usually happens if you destroy everything and anything. It's wow, if we would be able to take all of this cargo, I would love it, because there is a crap ton of stuff here. From medical supplies to alcohol to all sorts of things. I would love to be able to salvage this. And also by exploring these derelict ships, you can come across lots of inspiration for what your ship design might look like eventually. So you can get inspired and see what you can think of with these things. It's really awesome this way. Everything has some sort of feedback or is gonna be able to help you somehow. Okay, so this ship is gonna be able to be salvaged for lots of infra scraps, which I love. And there is just a lot of stuff in here, which I do want. 72 crates of goodies. So let's go take them. All of it. I want it all. And I have to deselect this ship, because otherwise, no bueno. And the thing is that the other crew might keep coming here and try to take things apart as well. So we have to work fast. Do we want to trade anything right now with you guys? We have 2,300 something credits. Let's take 2 more infra blocks just for the hell of it. I'm hoping we're going to be able to salvage and scrap the hull for hull blocks. Energy is shut to bits and pieces. This thing. Keep working on this. Break this sucker apart. If I can somehow destroy this thing, it would be just awesome. But that ship unfortunately ran into us while a ship with guns was present. They did not have any shield generators to protect them, so we were able to salvage a lot of parts and take a lot of cargo, and that is just so awesome. But honestly, I'm hoping someone will be able to move these things into our storage, otherwise we are seriously screwed. Oxygen level is holding, especially thanks to the fact that we have the air vent and the oxygen generator right over here. So all of this is in here. So we have kind of bounced back, but we're still nowhere close to the finish line. No. We are light years away. And unfortunately, our ally has left, so now it's only for us to salvage the remains of this lovely vessel. Thankfully, they had that storage full of cargo. So that will be able to sustain us for a while. We're able to get crap ton of fruits and so on and such. And we still have to salvage a lot of infra blocks and all these other fancy things which are scattered in here. So this will all have to be gathered and recycled for our ship's needs. So now we have 11 infra blocks. And honestly, this one garden for growing the crops is not gonna cut it at all. We're gonna need a lot of those suckers. Okay, let's make 2. Take everything, soft scrap, everything needs to be processed, salvaged. Eventually, if you have just too much crap like this, my suggestion is go with 2 recyclers. It's totally worth it. You're gonna get the investment back. .27. Who came up with that number? Ship is still a tiny portion of the salvage can be extracted, and after that we're gonna have to make a jump, but we are kind of overburdened, so yeah, having that additional hull stabilizer would be just awesome. Don't know if we have all the necessary bits and pieces for it to be constructed. Okay, we might have it, but it's the actual I think engines which affect the mass. So unless you are able to get like 3rd engine or something, you can forget it. So we're gonna be at much safer position if we jump like this. You see, now it's 1,800 out of 2,400. So definitely it's the drives which affect these things. Have we taken everything? Seems that way. We're gonna start getting ready for another jump, and I'm guessing I'm gonna want to go here where the basic chemicals, ice, and the Hyperium is located, or we can jump up here and see what's in these 2 regions. We have options. And we can jump around a couple of times before we are in some sort of dangerous situation, so let's make it here. Okay, there's a derelict ship, and then there's Hyperium and Energium. I'm gonna go over here, and we're gonna break apart the ship because we can get the infra blocks, scrap, hull blocks, and all this other stuff which can be useful for us. So this seems like quite the decent base, but also because of the size, we can run into problems such as there being a crap ton of aliens, and yeah, it can be a hostile working environment is what I'm trying to say. Don't have a pistol, and I'm looking for those crew members who are carrying firearms. I think I still have 1 pistol or 3. Okay. The more crew members you bring, the better your chances of survival, especially because yeah, the aim of your crew can be really bad. So, considering the fact that the whole ship can be infested with aliens, you do want to bring as many guys as possible, because especially if someone gets knocked the hell out, you do want to have some crew member who is going to be able to carry them back to safety. You don't want to leave them on board of the derelict. It's a death sentence. So I'm seeing a corpse. I'm seeing some energy rods. So far I'm not seeing any movement or aliens. Okay, jukebox has been researched. Awesome. So we have something to improve the mood. Can put that into our cantina. Trying to figure out some way to get here. Doesn't seem like this ship is infested with aliens. Otherwise, we would have come across one a long, long time ago. So now it's just about us clearing out these last bits and pieces. And then we're gonna salvage this location completely. So draft, and salvage it all. Lots of resources. Awesome. Just hope these 4 are gonna be able to return to the ship and go to sleep. And then we can continue. And we have a ship with which we can trade here. Awesome. They have... What do we have? We have a super block. I have not even come across blueprints which would utilize this stuff. So I'm going to hold on to that for a rainy day. We have lots of stuff here. So right now... I'm not really sure what do we need. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what's up. We're gonna see what's up. What are we missing? Hull scrap, we don't have that for now, but we're gonna soon regain that. First, they're gonna take whatever. We have a fire here. How is that even freaking possible? Okay, please clear this out before... Yeah, that's the problem. If your plants are close to location which can have fires or whatever, what can happen is that instantaneously all the crops die out, and then you're kind of screwed. So I'm gonna move this goddamn thing away further so that this does not happen, because we have a potential... problem on our hands here. We need to manage the temperature. We need to build the temperature regulators. Let's build a couple. We're able to bounce back a little bit. We're still running low on food. The temperature will prevent us from doing anything when it comes to growing food, which can be bad. The ship has left, so we cannot really trade for food. And doing the algae soup is just not gonna cut it. Hull is being scrapped. Autopsy table has been done. We can do botany too. This will give us CO2 producers and water collectors. Because you need CO2 also for the plants, so it's okay as long as you are in safe location, but once you start to get into like some sort of lethal levels and so on and such, it can have negative effect on your overall crew. We have still a crap ton of stuff to be relocated from the derelict ship. So our ship is starting to take a shape, a really weird shape, but it's a shape, I guess. It is what it is. I'm not gonna argue about it. It can be prettier, but it can be so much worse. Seriously, if you're playing this game, let me know somehow what your design is. I don't know. Have you posted it on Steam community? Have you been inspired by Steam community? Have you Googled any blueprints or something? Let me know. I will be more than happy to read all about it. I'm trying to think what else can we do here. Still have crap ton of blocks to be salvaged. So all these things, these hall stabilizers, these doors, the kitchen, medical bed, temperature regulators, storage, the airlock, everything will be salvaged and broken down and taken over here for recycling purposes. So let them do that. And you can, of course, also set up these things to produce these things continuously. But I have found myself, it's better to somehow keep certain things not done like this. And just wait and process the stuff once you have it. Because it can affect your overall people from not being able to do other jobs. Or you can find yourself suddenly that the job cannot be done because you are lacking the resources, and so having it on continuous production is pointless. The only thing where I came across that the continuous production actually made sense was a recycler for biological stuff, and that thing, I'm not really sure where the hell is it. It's this thing. Composter. So the biomaterial is actually being transferred back into water and the fertilizer, and this thing running continuously makes sense, especially once you have lots of grow beds, because once you have those, it will be that much more easier for you to just keep on doing what needs to be done. I swear to God, those nuts are not gonna allow me to be growing. Huh. Okay, screw it. Let's go for the fiber. F it. Metal refinery. Nice. That's gonna be useful. We're gonna be able to start processing the carbon, the noble metals, the base metals into more advanced stuff. But of course, this also increases the heat output and the hazardous gas output as well. So having this somewhere away from your crew is kind of important. I'm gonna move away the tool production thingy. Set it up as a high priority, and then we're gonna build the metal refining nonsense. And we can then like wall it off somehow, I hope. Once everyone's done sleeping. Jesus Christ, you guys sleep more than I do. Kind of starting to be jealous here a little bit. This region contains nothing. If we jump here, we can discover what's here, or jump then over here. Or we can go here, get here, and then we can see what's in these last few sectors. We have options, is what I'm trying to say. Come on, wake up! Wake up! They're gonna eat, they're gonna use the jukebox. Comfort is still higher over here than in here. The bunk beds are killing it. That's just the sad truth. We will be able to make this. We will be able to start smelting the stuff. Okay, we might be able to pull this thing off. So steel plates are used for a crap ton of stuff. As you can see, you use only 0.2 and 0.2 of each in order to make one steel plate. So that is awesome. And when it comes to the electronics, you use as well 0.2 of the noble metals and 0.2 of the base metals. So that's awesome as well. I'm thinking the gas scrubber will have to go over here. Just due to how much crap this thing can produce. We have to check the temperature in here as well. Okay, thanks to these heat regulators, we are doing fine. And there's no difference in the performance if it's on the wall or on the floor. It's the same thing, which is awesome. I can dismantle you probably. How are you already damaged? You were literally built moments ago. A microweaver, awesome, but we don't have the fibers because I'm trying to just grow food in general, which seems to be the biggest problem right now. None low, and nothing, okay. And the steel and the electronic components can be also a great source of trading resources. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this one, and we're gonna see how the series continue. We're gonna try to record more, of course, so any advice you have, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. I'm more than happy to read all about it. Of course, you can see based on the video that I'm nowhere near being some proper expert, but the game is challengingly fun. And that's what I like so much about it, and that's what I want to maybe turn it into mini-series here in the channel. So with that said, I'm gonna wish you all the best in the meantime. And if you want to know what the channel is currently up to, you know the drill. I'm gonna wish you a pleasant rest of the day, and goodbye for now.